Hello and good morning. Naomi Tucker here from Laurel Park alongside morning line odds maker and one of my favorite handicappers showing me in the morning. That is Keith Fustel right here as well. Apologies, I just had a bit of a loud noise in my ear here. But Random Million Day, we did have our draw yesterday. What an exciting event. Got the chat to a couple of trainers before and after as well. And it is coming up in just a couple of days from now. 11:30 a.m. post. So, geez, I got to get up early.
A 12 race card too. So get your bankroll ready for Saturday. It's going to be a big day.
It is a huge day. 12 races, including just a slew of stakes event, of course, highlighted by the Maryland Million Classic. We do have the juvenile events as well, the nursery, the lassie. Oh, you know what? I did the whole card this morning looking through it, trying to send my picks in, and these are not easy races. Terrific betting opportunities coming your way. But before we get to Saturday, we still have Friday to go, right? We do have an offer for you as well, because we have a big carryover.
It's a pretty big lead-in to Maryland Million Day. Look at this, 76,823 is your carryover for the Stronach Pick 5. We've seen this before. We're going to see it again on Friday. That pool's going to be probably $500,000, maybe more. So get started on your handicapping, no doubt about it. A great opportunity for a big score here tomorrow.
Tough races. I went over them all already, and not easy to pick, but that also means that you are definitely in for a payout, especially with a couple of prices coming in. And I feel like there's a couple of legs that there is certainly the possibility of that happening. And aside from our big day coming up this Saturday, we do have the Pegasus World Cup on Saturday, January the 29th. Pre-sale tickets have gone into rotation. Do get your hands on a couple of those. PegasusWorldCup.com to make that trip down to sunny Florida for a nice little winter spell. But let's have a look at the current track conditions for today. 9 races coming your way, and what a beautiful day. I know it's been colder throughout the night, Keith, but then it does start warming up quite significantly during the day.
We're going to be high 70s, I think, when it's all said and done this afternoon. We had a little bit of breeze and some chill Sunday and got this warm weather back again for today, this Thursday card. So, man, really looking forward to a turf firm, main track, fast. Things are playing pretty fair all the way through. So you got to love the conditions we've been presented with here over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Really kind of a lovely appetizer to get you ready for that big Stronach 5 sequence kicking off in race 8 with us tomorrow, and then also Maryland Million Day. Perhaps, most likely the second biggest race day on the circuit here, aside from Preakness Week. So really looking forward to this. And of course also so happy to be welcoming the fans once again. We've missed you. I've never been able to attend or work Maryland Million Day with fans in attendance just yet. So I'm very excited to get to meet you all, and I do hope you make it out. We have plenty of food and drink options, and look, 12 races on the card, terrific betting value as well. So I wholeheartedly invite everyone to join us here. Let's dive into the first race of the day today, this Thursday. Early pick 5 starts off here in race number 1, and I created a ticket for this sequence. I go 3 deep. You can tell I struggled to find a single today. I landed, I used the 1, the 3, the 4 here in race number 1 for the 2-year-old fillies. A tricky one to pick out. I did use the first time started number 3, Candy Arcade, for Justin Nixon as my top choice. Is bullet after bullet. She's been working. Race 2, I go 2 deep using Jackie A on the rail, and then the number 5, Damo Doctor, for Bob Clisseris. Forest Boyce aboard. Race 3, I go 3 deep using the 1, the 4, and the 6. I actually have a price play on the number 4, Captain Cardo. Look, I feel like they're kind of evenly matched. He was 15-1 morning line, drops to the maiden 10 level again. Second start after 231 days off. I'm hoping to see some improvement here. Bryson Butterfly aboard, taking off that juicy 7 pounds. Just a couple of errors pointing in his direction. Race number 4, 1, 4, and 8. I used the number 8 on top, but I do like the number 4, Love in Her Eyes as well, and then the 8, Lucre, for trainer Justin Nixon. Race 5, I go 2 deep here using the 2 and the 13, Malin 16 on the turf. Samurai Sunset, a closer who's drawn low, hopefully can save some ground. And then towards the the outside, we do have Especiala as well. Jane Sibeli, $54 flat. But if you can, perhaps add in the number 13, who's counting, who I've included underneath in my picks, who does draw in off the AE list. So if you have the chance to go a bit deeper, my ticket was going to be a bit too expensive if you're adding the 13 in, but do see if you can do so. $54 flat starting in race number 1. We'll start with the number 1, White Knuckle Flyer, because this is a 2-year-old filly who has quite a fair bit of experience, where we've got a video spotlight on her last turf race. That was 2 starts ago at Laurel Park. She had a high draw that day. You see she's placed mid-position there, the number 9 on the rail. And she kind of got a nice, okay trip behind an average pace. I don't think they were going overly fast or slow, so kind of an honest race going on there. And she actually did come with quite a late kick. I was a little bit surprised. It wasn't looking like she was going to do anything, but then she really turned it up in that final 16th.
Exactly. All of a sudden, she kind of got it there, leaving the 3/16 pole, was able to kind of work its way between horses, but the jock did a good job too, dropping down and saving ground around the turn. That was a first where they got it done for Stidham, right? Kick Keller, but runs on okay. Would have liked to see her going over to that correct lead, a little left lead action there, but finishing quite well. Experience here, ran back on the dirt, good effort there. Lasix off of that Delaware race, but right back at Dale Capuano, rolling right along right now. Last 14 days, what he is 5 for 14 with a strong ROI.
He is doing incredibly well. Look, it's tough to go against the experienced filly, but both of us do try to do so with the number 3, Candy Arcade, for trainer Justin Nixon. Dam Prize, though, was a stakes-winning miler on the turf. But look, we're both looking at the work tab here. Bullet after bullet after bullet. Now, yes, smaller sample for some of these, like the turf work was with the dogs out, but she was the fastest of the 4 going around that distance. But I think more significantly, we also know that she's pretty fast over the half mile, and she does well going from the gate. And of course, Justin Nixon at 23% with his fastest.
Yeah, you think, speed is in the offing for this one, glancing at those workouts, 1 of 46, 1 of 35, rolling along, 2 winning sibs on the turf, although being, long. You're thinking long lean on the bottom when you really take it through. I think she's going to be ready. Twirling Canning's very good first time out. Jock trainer combo recently. What are they? They're huge. I've got it in here, like 45%.
I have here.
Tremendous percentage there. Nixon doesn't run a lot of 2-year-old firsters. Over 7 overall the last few years. He's done well with his older firsters, but he had one a couple weeks ago. I think it might have been late September. Just missed with Caramano so on the turf. So and you've got a gauge there. So I think this one's going to be just fine in debut on the turf course.
Yeah, I do have a couple of firsts making their debut in here. You also use the number 6, Circle Home, for Michael Trombetta. I give some respect to the number 4, Candy Light as well. Look, it's tricky. You start looking at which shires do well with their first and which bonds tend to fire first time out.
I saw a stat here, and this is why this horse isn't on top for me, but she may get it done. Trombi, who's going for a big number here coming up for wins.
2,000 wins. I think he's 3 wins away at present.
That's going to happen soon. It could happen today. He's only 1 for 40 with firsters on the turf over the last 3 years. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. But you got a stallion that's okay with turf runners. But this family is good. This horse is a full to Tauber, who ran well a couple wins sprinting on the turf. You see Joy, Dionysus. I think this horse, she's gonna give a pretty good showing of herself in debut. The stat scared me away from putting a little bit higher.
Yeah, I use the number 10 as well, Melapony B, for trainer Susan Cooney, who's been doing so well with her turf runners. Breezes look good enough, but I did look back at the pedigree, and hence I used this filly underneath, because the dam Kluan Mela, if I say that correctly. Susan Cooney, very familiar with the family, because she also trained the mother, but the mother did take 10 races to break her maiden. So I feel like perhaps this is a filly to kind of wait and see, but perhaps to use underneath and get a bit of value there. John Geraldo takes the ride as well. But I do wholeheartedly encourage everyone to go and stand at the rail, stand at the paddock, have a look who's looking sharp, who's got that kind of forward look to them and is very professional.
You've got a little price there with the first, or Susan Cooney. And here's a barn I'm really not familiar with at all, the 5. But This stallion, Astern, I want to pronounce it
Astern,
correctly. Yeah,
yep.
it's 17% with firsters, and they're doing quite well on the turf. There's turf in this family, so maybe a blow-up type of horse underneath, just as you mentioned with the 10. Maybe this is one that could kind of hit the board and shake things up for you in your exotics.
It feels like this first race could already provide us with a big double-digit winner. Anything can happen today. We'll go on to race number 2, which is a claiming 40 to 32,000 event. Nominees are 2 in their careers, 1 turn mile. And Keith, your early pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, early pick 4. We caught the middle pick 4 the other day. We could have paid a little bit more, but at least we got one, which is nice. I was taking a beating, but we're going to go here with another $24 ticket. That seems the magic number. 3 deep to get you started with the 1, 3, and 5. Demo Doctor, the 1 to catch clearly in race number 2. Race 3, a little spread deeper. 1, 2, 6, and 8. Street Mojo for Trombetta, another live runner going turf to dirt. Race 4, we're going to go 2 horse Loving Her Eyes. And, I'm going to throw the 6 in there, Assume. I thought this horse ran quite well last time. Didn't have the easiest of trips. Race 5, 12 and 13. Remember, just as Naomi said earlier, that 13 does draw in race number 5 for a barn. If it's turf, it's McDermott, and they're winning. So there you go. $24 ticket ad if you like.
Yeah, but both of us landed on the number 2 in race number 5, in race number 2, that 1 turn mile. So we'll just dive into that and we'll run through the sequence as we go along. Yeah, the number 5 Demo Doctor, you're right. It seems like he's going to be the one to catch in here. Comes out of that same race as Jackie A did. But Demo Doctor did a lot of the hard work early. This time around, I feel like he's the projected speed. I don't know how much pressure he's going to get, and I think that's going to help him.
Yeah, I think you've got the right kind of rider. Just go ahead and rate along on the front end.
Yes.
And Forrest, if anybody knows when to push that button, she does. I mean, really gets a good feel of these horses and lets them get settled in their stride and then go. And when she asks, they usually answer. They respond. So, I think it's Demo Doctor's race to lose. It was down inside, had to be used early last time into a very, very fast fractions. Softened up from there, gets the jump on this field, and I think can go coast to coast.
Yeah, we're going sub 23 and 46 and 1. For that 7 furlongs, very, very fast for Demo Doctor. And yes, you're right. Forrest Boyce, very patient, knows her times, and horses like to run for her. So I agree with you there that she possibly can get the best out of Demo Doctor. But yes, you have to use Jackie A, who did come with a very tenacious close. Does love a good setup though. Every time you look at the best race he's run here, it's because they've gone blistering in front.
That's the note I have. Likes some flow. This horse likes some flow in front of him for a barn. Ned Allard, been around for a long time. Has done great work. When they transfer into this barn, they run well. But, yeah, that's the key. Does Jackie A want that contested pace up front? If he doesn't get it, he may flatten out just a little bit. I'll throw Arrow One in there. Jack A backs a horse, maybe at a little bit of a price. You've got this horse in the If he's ever going to run his best race, he might be set up to do it just now, third off of a break, turf to dirt.
Agreed. No, and he had some trouble in running last time as well, going long on dirt. 3 starts ago, that was actually had to get steadied at the 8th, and that was one of his better races. But sprint after having a little bit of break, then a turf try. I think that fitness helps him set up for what he likes to do, and that is going long on the main track. Race number 3 is a 5.5 furlong sprint for maidens, 3, 4, and 5-year-old maiden, 10 to 8,000. I do have my price play in race number 3. Here comes in the shape of the number 4, Captain Cardo, 15 to 1 on the board. Definitely worth a nibble, I feel, at that price. When I was looking at the time form pace figures, which sometimes is slightly different from some of the buyer numbers, so you look at a lot of the recency numbers, I thought they were all kind of close in this field, and maybe Captain Cardo dropping back down from maiden 16, second after a break, gets a fast main track again, gets Bryson Butterfly, the bug boy, on top as well with £7. Perhaps that could all just work in his favor to at least get a more positive experience here today for trainer Tim Keefe.
I like it. A little bit of a price. My man Vinny Perrone, who kind of graciously helped me a little bit with the Maryland Million lines. We were on a little bit of a deadline. Bounced a lot of things off of him last night. He said, you know what, there's a horse in here that I liked a little bit. Talking about today's card, and that was it, Captain Cardo.
I like that.
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a scramble up front in this race. With I think the main speed's drawn outside with the 8 and the 9. Street Mojo, I've been chasing this runner, goes third time for Trombetta, turf to dirt, good angle, profitable angle, high percentage angle for this barn. You've got Acosta. I think this horse is going to be put into the race. In tight, a major excuse last time, and has made middle moves while very wide on the turf. It draws inside on the dirt. I think a clean break puts this horse into the race and brings a little bit of a finish. And I'm scared of the 2 too as well. Uncommon Valor, a big reach on the go back, off some time, off the claim. Time to regroup, and I think this horse is going to like the flow that he gets up front.
Yeah, no, time to regroup indeed. Did have a little bit of trouble in his last start as well. Had a break since. Does get 7 pounds coming off with Jean Alvelo, another apprentice rider getting the ride in here. So yeah, I think this is actually quite a wide open event, and hence going with a price play might put you in good stead. I did use Cosa Mas Linda, you were mentioning him as well. Yeah. Seemingly going to be one of the pacemakers. First time going short, but has been very poorly placed in the past. And first time going short also at the maiden 10 level. Excuse me, I was looking at some of the maiden 16 levels before that. And his first 2 sprint starts, they were pretty decent. It seems like on the form figures at this level with, those kind of races on his belt, he might be the one to chase.
I know you've got the updated PPs. You see the last work I have is the 19th of September.
I believe I still have the old cut as well.
Okay.
So you have to have
that
a
was
look
one thing
to
I
see
was
if
worried
there's
about.
I do
like
sometimes worry about that as well. But do check the updated cut as well. We get our early picks in, right? I do have the older ones.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's check if that's thing, because I do agree with you, and I'm trying to beat him in this spot based on a couple of those factors. Leonardo Carrillo gets the call, but Jose Corrales, new barn, new trainer, that could prove the differentiating factor, right? Especially for these level horses.
I'm going to go with the higher price Corrales with the 2. We'll see.
Okay, I like
little horse
it.
for horse action. Okay.
All right, race number 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6, and we have a carryover for the Sonic 5, but we also have a carryover for the Rainbow Pick 6 sequence. $16,000.74. 7 furlongs of distance here, race 4. But let's start first with Callie Francois' ticket. She looked at the sequence for us today. Race number 4, she uses the 1 and the 8, a girl named Jack, and then also my top selection, Lucre, on the outside for trainer Justin Nixon. Then in race 5, she goes 4 deep. I understand that she uses the 2, the 9, the 12, and the 13, because we do see that 13 draw in there. Mountain 16 on the turf. And then in race 6, she comes with a single in the shape of the number 8, who I have underneath my selection as well. Joseph Israel for Tom McMahon. Javier Toledo aboard back to the main track. Grass try didn't really work out. I feel outside tactical speed and class relief could really make a difference here. Race 7, she goes 3 deep, the 4, the 6, and the 8. Race 8, she goes 4 deep again, using the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8. And then in race 9, hopefully we're all still alive here, 1, 4, and 5, $57.60 ticket, which starts in race number 4 with that terrific carryover coming your way if you get it right today. And I feel like today's a day of value. I definitely wholeheartedly believe that we're going to have some big priced winners, so that makes that Rainbow Pick 6 bet even more enticing. Let's start with your top selection in here, which is the number 4, Love in Her Eyes, for trainer Jamie Ness. Angel Suarez aboard. I feel like this filly runs a touch bit better going shorter, which is what she's going to do today. We do have a video, I believe, from 3 starts ago. It was at Parks, where she kind of broke averagely. You see she's not that forwardly placed. She kind of slowly starts moving her way towards the front runners. However, the final furlong, it was all of a sudden like she got a bit of a gust of wind in her back. She just goes whoosh.
It does look like it. All of a suddenly, as we like to say, it just really finishes with a flourish down towards the rail, kicking away, widening. As you said, I think she's kept a little bit better company. I like the turn back in distance. And Ness, when he's kind of moving these horses from, protection to a claiming price, he's 5 for 17, 13 for 17 in the money the last few years. I think there's enough speed to set things up. Italian Dressing, I would have liked to have seen stay in. I was going to use her, actually, but take out the 2 and the 5. But hashtag Lucky, I think, is going to go assume will be forward as well. I think a kind of a sweeping move might be in store for the 4, Love in Her Eyes.
Yeah, I have her in my exact. I landed on the 5-year-old mare who's drawn towards the outside, Lucre, for trainer Justin Nixon. She is a full sister to Grade 3 Mahab Al Shamal sprint winner in Dubai drafted, who has the exact same running style as her, because he always comes from the clouds. Now, that's kind of what she likes to do as well. I don't believe Timonium was really her track. She actually did try her best, and I don't think it was a disgrace race whatsoever. I thought she made up good ground sprinting on the turf, but she also ran incredibly well after a bad start in the Shine Again Stakes 3 starts ago against heavy hitters, Chubwagon, Hello Beautiful, Pasty Singing. Looking at all of that, she's protected in here. I feel like this is kind of a sneaky good spot for her.
Yeah, it could work. Came out, guns a-blazing back in December to get it done, widening there. But you're right, the Timonium race, I was even thinking that when I was over there, this may not be just a spot for her, just the configuration, the way the track is. She had a setup. She just didn't bring that natural finish that she's shown, because you have to be urged a little bit more early just to stay in touch. And I think it took it out of her game. She'll settle and try to rally into it as well. But Assume is a horse that showed speed last time, dropped back and came again. I love that move. Was down towards the inside with her draw to the outer portion. I think if #Lucky wants to be aggressive, if Yomar wants to go, this horse can just set up shop just off of that one, whole position, because I like the way that she kept on inside. Other horses were making runs, and she outfinished them after doing 2 or 3 different moves within the race. So I think she's a stayer in here. But let's go 4-6-6-4. Lucre underneath for me.
Yeah, no, okay. I think this is a fun race coming up. Actually, it's optional claim as starter allowed. A couple of ways that we can go, but we'll take a quick break before we talk you through the rest of the card. Welcome back, Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker joined by Keith Fusel. We are on race number 5 of 9 of our live racing program today, Thursday, as we are gearing up for a big Stronach 5 day tomorrow, as well as one of the highlights on the circuit, Maryland Million Day, this Saturday. But let's dive into race number 5, which also starts a late pick, 5 mile and 16 a distance on the lawn, claiming 16 to 12.5, nominative to Lifetime. Let's start with the horse that drew in of the AE list. So I had to do a double take this morning, making sure that I knew he was in. He's by Vancouver, the number 13, who's counting for Sean McDermott, has been doing very, very decently in his last couple of turf tries, especially first time against winner in his last outing at Delaware. Really showed that he does belong at that level.
Yeah, he got back, got to the surface a couple races back, Lasix on, and is a completely different horse right now. They scored at a big price, 32-1, came back at a 9-2, and ran very well close, shortening up in distance to Super Energizer, who came back and ran well again at Park. So I think this horse is found his niche. This is what he wants to do. I think he has a little bit more positional speed than the 12, Especiella. Might get the jump on that one, but I'm going to key around these two. Tougher outer posts, but I think there's enough speed in here. These horses will be able to draft over, hopefully not be caught 4 and 5 wide around the first turn, but I think they're going to bring the best late punch.
I do agree here. I think Especiala doesn't have an abundance of early speed. I think Who's Cutting maybe a touch sharper earlier, but Especiala does get back down to these for the first time since breaking his maiden, actually. And he's been capable of clearing a fair few lengths against better horses in the stretch. I wanted to include him here for Jane Sibeli. I landed on the number 2, who's drawn towards the inside, Samurai Sunset, also a bit of a closing type in here, but he ran his best figure when rallying in his last race, which did include Seville Row as well. But in his last races, he has been picking up a check. Now, that does make me wonder, does he really want to win? But I'm hoping that the low draw means that he can save some ground in there and then hopefully come with a strong rally.
He's had 3 different riders the last 3 races, and he's going to get another one a day in Ruiz. Ruiz, a very capable turf rider. This horse looks like a tough horse to ride, though. I was watching Feargo last time. He was out in the clear out wide and just trying to get him to settle and relax a little bit and get him to run his race. He finally asked him top of the stretch. He made a little run, then he kind of just started going a little erratically through the final 1/8 of a mile. Kept doing gamely. I worry about him being down inside if he gets a touch ranking behind horses as well. So improving, I think that. I think he's going to bring a run. I think you have to use him in your exactas and tries. But, yeah, he looks like a difficult horse to ride.
I guess Jorge Ruiz has got his work cut out for him. Thankfully, strong rider who's been doing terrifically well, absolutely on a roll. So do think, hopefully, I hope he's going to be a good fit. I think he will be from what you've just described. But of course, will be a bit of a question mark. You used the number 4, Noble Mischief, underneath as well. Patrick News, Forest Boys. Look, I had this going on and off my tickets, and unfortunately, I guess when the 13 drew in, I kind of kicked him to the sidelines. But if he now comes and beats me, I guess that's by my own fault here.
Yeah, well, beaten favorite last time. Coming back, you're going to get a little bit better price. Draws more inside as well. I think this horse can kind of track inside and bring a little bit of a finish. I don't know if he's going to get it done and make amends for getting beat last time, but I think you got to take the value there because you're going to get it finally today.
Yeah, I think so as well. Race number 6, Nickel Claimer, 3-year-olds, and up 5.5 furlong dash on the main track here. Do you believe we have a stat which is on Joseph Israel, and we see right there for Tom McBain.
Yeah, doesn't run a slew of horses, and at first you're perceiving it as a real big negative. You know, the drop down 50% or more tag drop, but I mean, 4 for 10 the last 3 years, 40%. That's not bad. Now, ROI, it must have had a huge bomb in there. I forgot to dig a little deeper, but 11.40. This horse is going to be a shorter price. Maybe they can squeeze one more good race out of him. Didn't fire on the turf last time. A tougher field, Just Wave and Smile, but the 2-back try is good. This horse has enough tracking speed. I guess where you be, the 2 horses are going to be sent from the inside. And Joseph is real. I think it's set up shop just outside.
Yeah, I like him in this spot. I definitely think that he's got a good high draw here and can do pretty well. I landed on the number 2, Where You Be, for trainer Jamie Ness. Look, I think he's going to be the projected speed. He's down to the nickel level in this spot. It will kind of be all or nothing for him, but he was part of a strong early clip last time and was still able to hold on late. Now, that kind of, to me, showed his hand in terms of his tenacity and the will to win at this level, which I think also speaks dividends. I know you have him underneath, but you landed on a horse that I didn't use in here, the number 5 Top Boss.
Again, this is a race. I don't know. I don't have a great feel for it, so just kind of take a stab for a little bit of a price dropping down. You know, you're up here, you're doing every race, so it's tough. That's the toughest part of doing this. Every race we've got to, kind of discuss it, and if I don't have a great feel, I just don't have a great feel for it. So if I'm looking for a little bit of value here, it would be the 5 Top Balls. A couple excuses, the last 2, a drop down in class, and somehow that race, I don't know where it came from, a Pimlico, first time in the barn, but was able to track a pretty fast horse. Forrest is quick. This horse did it quite easily and went clear. So a drop down in class, maybe get you some price here with the 5 Top Ball. So it's a race. I think there's numerous ways to go. You're going to have to trust some droppers. I don't know if you really like doing that at this level. So there you go. There's your value shot.
Yeah, we'll give it a go in race number 6. Race number 7, 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weight, 7 furlongs the distance. And we'll start with a video spotlight on the number 8, Prepare for Takeoff, one of the most experienced fillies in this field. She was very sharp from the beginning. You can see her there, 19-1 on the rail. Took pressure from Kimmy's Chardonnay in the turn. Now, we did see she was able to put away that foe. Look, she was I was quite taken with her, actually. She was really eyeballing Kimmy's Chardonnay. She was relaxing for Marquez. She wasn't, too wound up. Sort of a very professional effort, and I loved how she just made full use of the rail and kept on fighting out. Didn't have an answer for Towser late, who was coming up on the outside of her there. I also think, she didn't really get a good look at her. I feel like if she's in a bit more tighter duel, she's going to give some more.
Yeah, she's doing her own thing down there, isn't she? She's like, okay, there you go. You're going by, but I'm going to keep on trying, and she does. She gives effort every step of the way. She does have experience. She does have the speed. 7/8. Is she going to be able to carry it that far? But take nothing away. That was a good effort for a really game to the wire. I like that. I'm going to look at a firster here, Trombetta again, with a quality road filly, Estate. Second, the Dam. Second in the Del Mar Debutante. Ran in the Oakleaf. 5 winning siblings. This horse is kin. Was it 3-5 India? Won the Dave's Friend. Really good family here on the 5. I'll take a shot first out with Trombetta.
And quality road pretty decent as well with the firsters, 14% winners. And indeed, you highlighted the Dam's credentials. And the Dam actually won on second asking as a 2-year-old as well. Good bit of precocity there. Now, 6 siblings, you were mentioning 5 of them winners. Only one won first time out, though. That was the aforementioned 3-5 India, Dave's Friend, Victor, and Graded Stakes Place Sprinter. So I do like Estate, but the reason I use her a little bit on these, aside from the fact that we have a couple of firsters in here, just not sure Michael Trombetta's speciality is to get them to hit first time out. You can see the stats as well. 10% winners, first-time starters definitely happens, but I don't feel like it's the barn that would put the emphasis on making sure that they win. Moreover, a good positive experience, get that more fitness level. So hence a bit more of a cautious approach for me, because I'm going with the barn that does like to fire them out first time out and places them accordingly. Middle Island, the number 4 for trainer Brittany Russell. Mashawish, young sire, 70% winners with his first-time starters. 2-year-olds though. A lot of firsts in here as well. But this runner, this filly, I feel has a solid work tab underneath. Dam won her second start as a 2-year-old. She has 5 siblings. 3 of them showed up on debut and half sister to a multiple local stakes winner. I know probably won't get the biggest of price, because most people like to bet the Russell Firsters, but today I'm not trying to beat a Russell Firster. I am on board, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be right.
There you go. I'm definitely going to be using that one. Toledo, taking, he's riding well right now. And the 3, Psych, not a barn 2, is, first start 17%, 17% with a 467 ROI. Cupids, I guess okay. I didn't get the stat for him with the firsters, but the mare 5 for 15 did one second out. Stakes place. This mare 2 for 3 with first-time starters, getting the job done. So take a little look at Sight. This horse might slip through the cracks at a price.
Yeah, that's certainly very interesting. I didn't look too much into the dam here because I was trying to find my way through all of the maiden special weight runners in here, which is a terrific field. And like I said, if you want to go with a couple of the first, it pays to look at them in the paddock, and just how they're moving. Are they professional? Are they enjoying themselves? Are they ready for this? And then let's hope that we roll the dice in the right direction here. Race number 8, optional claim a starter allowance. Mile and 16 distance, 3-year-old and up. And Keith, you landed on the number 3, who I used underneath. Bust off, a speedy runner for trainer Claudio Gonzalez, but I think the key here is first off the claim, hasn't run since 17th of September. That kind of Claudio special that you give them a month or so, couple of works go in, see where we're at, how are they doing, and then place them accordingly. Look, he's back at the same level.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine at the 2 turns. He's run well at 1.25 miles. Last time out was tangled up in a little bit of battle. They didn't go terribly fast. I was a little bit disappointed in that, but gets in, assist here. Contraflow was out, scratched the 6. Garon's going to keep the 1 in here. Closer look. Also take out the 2, Silent Malice. Bust off. Speed inside. First time Claudio. Everything you mentioned. Right to the front. Let's see how far he can go. Yeah, he usually digs in with pressure, too. He'll fight you.
Yeah, I use the number 1 closer look on top for Kieran McGee. Drops back down from that tough 2 other than level. Found the likes of Youngest of 5. We do saw him win the other day as well. Tusk, Prince James. Those kind of runners aren't in here. So I feel like closer look and perhaps hold his spot on the rail. He doesn't need to have the lead, but maybe he can kind of tuck in and then move back out again. Ran in the fine state. Now that was on the turf, possibly not entirely his game, but did win 3 starts ago by 8.5 lengths against a couple of horses that are lining back up in here. I like Jorge Ruiz aboard for Kieran McGee as well. So kind of look for him first, but also use the number 8 underneath, Weather Whiz, who won going 1.5 miles 2 starts ago on his last dirt try. 7-year-old veteran, have a lot of time for horses like this, because he really fights for it.
I'm gonna pass on him today. I just look at this race, and I think, talking about the 1 and the 3, if they're close to their A game, maybe a B+ game, the flow is perfect for these 2 just to carry themselves. And maybe the track will play differently, but I think inside post, the run in the first turn, as long as they don't get caught up in a duel, something crazy in the first half mile, both of these should stay around. My good man, I think, was going to be a beneficiary if things got really hot and heavy. I'll use him underneath here. I don't know what happened last time. I expect him to bounce back.
Final race on the card is race number 9, maiden claiming of a 40-32,000, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. We are sprinting on the turf here, and Keith, you land on the horse that I didn't get the chance to get to, the number 10, all the way towards the outside, Chauffeur. Now, I did look at him, but I was a little bit put off by the fact that this will be his 14th start trying to get a win on board. That makes me question if this runner really wants to get his nose in front. Sometimes you can get them to win. You kind of have to pull them out the last second so they don't realize that their nose is in front. But I'm staying away here.
Again, this is like a few races back. This is a little bit of a reach. I don't have anything I'm in love with in here, but my note is, okay, your avoided claim on May 22nd. Now you're protecting. Now you're going up, So why not? You got a big number back on the page against Faya. Dream of Carrots has stalking speed when right. That's it. Just looking for something, of value. Hello, Amigo. Certainly looks like the horse to beat. Talking about how many times? What was 18th time today? He's going to make his 18th start. But look at his last two on the turf: American de Oro and Prince Pear, horses that have run well in allowance races. So he's got maybe the class edge you would think against this group. Yeah, here's a video. We're going to watch this. This is the Pimlico Race. What?
Yeah,
it was the 8th, right?
Ago.
2 starts back, and man, ran really, really well, I thought. Was down inside, was able to kind of get position early and relax just behind the speed. American Door just a little too good, but very game to the wire is Hello Amigo. Only beaten a length and a quarter when it's all said and done. Third place finisher came back to win. I just think company lines, I guess, are to his advantage, but 17 times and still hasn't gotten it done.
Well, look, I was just making the argument that I was staying away from your top choice because of the amount of runners. But the reason I did include Hello Amigo, even though this is going to be his 18th start without a victory, is that I was very taken by that effort late. Ears pinned back, was gunning for. To me, showed that he actually did want to get to the front. That's exactly what we're looking for. You're right. He kept the right company lines as well. This should be easier. So I use him underneath as well. But did land on the number 5, trying to get a bit of a speed angle here with FOMO for trainer Liz Merriman. Horatio Caramanas, look, has been running very, very decently in his last 2 on the turf. I feel like there's a little bit of progression going on here, and relatively lightly raced compared to some others. And so is, of course, the number 4 Everclear, who I also use in my exacta.
Yeah, out of that same race, Everclear with FOMO on the 11th. FOMO, a little bit more tactical speed, really took the rating and finished up pretty well against Billingsgate. Dave Ryman gave me a little stat here. Last 5 years, it's a smaller sample, but Mary Epler 3 for 13 when her horses are making their second career start on the turf. It's a positive ROI angle. A little trouble early, but finished up well and kept on well through the gallop out in that debut. So 10, 4, 5, 1, just 10, kind of a flyer shot. The logical horses would be the 1, 4, and 5.
Most likely indeed. That is the final race on the cards today. But don't go anywhere because we still have plenty to discuss during Lightning Round. Race number 11 of 12 this Saturday is the feature race, the Maryland Million Classic, $150,000 purse. And we did draw the field yesterday. And of course, you made the morning line for it. I was asking you beforehand, who did you land on in here?
Well, and I had to get the morning line in early. That's TV for you and everything. So with Tapping Cat getting that draw, I probably would have made him a little bit higher. Okay. Maybe we'll go off 6 to 5 a little bit lower with some speed dead to the inside. I think Ain't the Beer Cold's going to be that odd horse that could really shake things up on the front end at a big, big price. Torch of Truth, I'll probably key around him. He's run well at this distance. He's capable. A little bit more life in latest, and he gets a great draw inside. I think he'll be able to sit and just, maybe drag Julian up into contention by the time they hit the quarter pole, and hopefully bring a finish from there off of that sprint at Timonium. Would like maybe see one more route into him before this, but there's my shot horse at 4 to 1.
Yeah, I definitely think he can run over this distance. I wish indeed that he had gone routing a couple of times, where has been sprinting mainly as of late. I landed on one of the 2 3-year-olds in here. You mentioned Ain't the Beer Cold. I landed on Dream Big Dreams for trainer Brittany Russell. Bested Elders last time out, ran against them before that too. But what I absolutely loved is final 16 even, or just furlong. He came thundering down the stretch, making me think that the mile and an eighth is absolutely within reach for him. And actually, I think it's going to make him better. Only carrying a 114 as being that 3-year-old, that means 6 pounds less than, for example, Tapping Cat, your current favorite. And then the poser's carrying 4 pounds more as well, 118. I'm going to take a shot there. Fergal Lynch got on board. He won on him last time. Of course, it would mean the world for the barn. Brittany Russell, this is her first ever Maryland Million Classic runner. Of course, one of the success stories in Maryland in terms of her training feats thus far. So, yeah, plenty of storylines going into this year's Maryland Million Classic.
Take nothing away, though. Tapping Cat in very good form for Gary Capp. And if you want to see one of the gamest efforts you'll see, go watch that last race at Delaware Park. I mean, it looked like he was just engulfed and just kept on going. He's got a high cruising speed. He can rate outside horses. Little gamesmanship, putting Dashing Lou in the race as well, keeping a couple guys. Hey, it is what it is, right, on the outside. So there you go. And Tapping Cat, yeah, these other horses, a couple of these other horses, we're talking about Dream Big Dreams. He's won an A of it. He hasn't gotten even through the two other conditions. Tapping Cat has worked through conditions, run against really established horses and is in a very good form right now. But I'll take a little shot with the 3. But yeah, Tapping Cat, 6-5.
Tapping Cat, that was the Governor Day handicap that he ran in last time. And indeed, hard battle all the way. 91 Buyer that day is your justified favorite, I do believe. Indeed, perhaps not helped by that high draw, because we do know the term comes up quickly, and he likes to be on the front end of things. So hopefully that won't leave him too much looking for energy at that last quarter of the race. If you are in attendance this Saturday, you get the chance to walk away with a Maryland Million hat. When purchasing a Maryland Million program, you get a hat while supply lasts. We'll be in the grandstand lobby, so another reason to make sure you get to the track early. First post 11:30, gates open at 10 a.m. We were already highlighting the Stronach 5 coming back tomorrow, because we have a huge carryover. Look at that, $76,823, and we kick off the sequence.
We do. We've got the leg A and
like D.
I'm trying to do the alphabet. That's tough. I didn't really get through that till like 3rd or 4th grade. But no, yeah, 76,000 will probably be, like we talk about, I think $500,000 in there. Now, our 2 races, interesting. Maybe that's, usually we're the big wide open races. I think you've got Robbie Bales is a 7-5 shot in one of the races, or 8-5 with a horse that really ran well on debut. That was Outkissed.
Outkissed,
and
yes.
then you've got Jamie Ness.
Robbie Bales, race 8.
Yeah, race 9. You've got Noble Commander and Charm. 2-1, 5-2 in the line. So maybe that's a spot where the bettors will try to kind of
you hope
trim
that
things
that's going to be
bit.
formful for them, because the Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park and Golden Gate Fields races were pretty wide open. You want to go 3 deep in there from what I've seen thus far. So yes, we hopefully for the bettors, we might be the formful races to kick the sequence off. But you never know, with that race 8 being, of course, a 2-year-old event over 7 furlongs. And we'll finish things off with updating you on the current jockey and trainers standings. We do know that Havy and Toledo, as well as Team Brittany Russell, we'll get to that in just a second, lead the way together. Havy and Toledo on 25 wins at present, 5 ahead of Jorge Ruiz. And of course, Havian has been picking up a lot of lovely mounts from the Russell barn, with Sheldon still being sidelined. But you know what? Making full use of the opportunities that are being given to him. He
is. You still got to get out there and do your job, right? And, so if you're not pulling your weight and doing the right things and, not giving the best of rides, then hey, you're going to go elsewhere. So he's doing what he needs to do, and he's staying on top of these jockey standings. You're riding for a barn like that. Absolutely, it's going to help your chances.
He is indeed, and of course, Brittany Russell is leading the way in the trainer standing, 13 ahead of trainer Dale Capuano. And you see Michael Trombetta in 3rd there. We do know that he is 3 wins away. Just double check that again from 2000. Of course, a career milestone. We're hoping that it will happen, of course, with us here today. But, of course, he has to have a slew of winners for that. But we got plenty of races coming up today, tomorrow, and maybe even Saturday if he's looking for that final winner.
You got it.
And that will do it for us this morning. I feel like we've already covered plenty of ground. Of course, we will continue talking about the Maryland Million Stakes races coming your way. But aside from that, 9 races today. Excited. Not an easy card. So plenty of opportunities. I wish everyone the best of luck.
All righty. Good luck.